Hi, welcome to my channel. So I thought I would round out my month of Snow White content with one last video about the costuming in the 2025 live action Snow White movie that was just released. So a few weeks ago, I made a movie about the costuming in Snow White based specifically off of the trailer and only about Snow White's dress, which I will link up in the cards and down in the description, but I didn't like it, and I do stand by that opinion. This past weekend, I went and saw the movie, and I have a bit of a different opinion about the costuming than I thought I would have. So I thought that I would go ahead and make a quick video sharing my updated thoughts with you. So if you like this video, make sure to hit the like button, make sure to subscribe for more content from me. I plan to do more costume creation content over the next couple weeks, and then every month post one costume commentary videos towards the end of the month. So this works out perfectly because we're rounding out March with one last costuming commentary, and then the next one will be in April. So anyway, with that, let's get on into it. So as I previously mentioned, I did not like Snow White's dress or the costuming in general, and I'm not particularly a Snow White fan either, so I didn't necessarily have an opinion on the story itself. And this video is not really a commentary about the movie itself. I really just want to focus on the costumes. Let's just start from the beginning. So in this movie, it starts off with this bright, bubbly, colorful scene of the townspeople and Snow White as a child with her parents dancing and singing. And I honestly thought I might like this movie when I saw this scene. It was bright and colorful. It was full of whimsy. I really enjoyed that the set of the scene looked a lot like Fantasyland in Disney World, kind of where the Pinocchio area is, and you can go see Snow White's wishing well. I thought that was really nice. It was nice to see a practical set. I thought it was all going to be CGI. The costumes are flashing about as they're dancing, and upon first glance, it looks fine. But then when you start seeing more and more of the costumes of the peasants, not really Snow White and the King and Queen, they're as unimpressive as I would have expected. But looking at the townsfolk, it really felt like the costumes belonged in Disney World. They were very simplified costumes. They felt very Ren Fair. Everyone is dressed kind of the same in the same color scheme, and the costumes just look kind of brand new. You would expect them to be more lived in, or a variety of new and worn, especially since they make such an emphasis on later in the movie about how they would feed the hungry and that there were people that didn't have as much as others. So they'd band together as a community to make sure everyone was taken care of. But you really don't get that sense from this opening scene based on the costuming, because everyone seems the same. And there's only about 5 or 6 different colors, if I remember correctly. The styles are, like I said, very simple. It's just not impressive. But as a dance scene, it's fine. If it was on stage, I think it would look fine. Like it's okay. When you have costuming on stage, it doesn't have to be too terribly detailed because you're seeing it from afar, so you can get away with a simpler costume. But in a movie where you get up close and personal with everyone on there, you think that there would be a bit more effort in the details of the costumes. But it just felt very much like Disney World. If that's what they were going for, fine, it kind of works, but it was a bit lackluster in my opinion. And then we get our first moments with Gal Gadot as the evil queen, which I echo everyone else's thoughts that was not the best performance for an evil queen in Snow White, but it is what it is. I was thinking that I was going to spend a lot of time on the evil queen's costumes, but in all honesty, they're pretty much all the same throughout the entire movie. It just depends on how sparkly they are. Like in some scenes, there's a different kind of black costume she's wearing. It kind of looks like it's made of leather, if I'm remembering correctly, but it's all pretty simplified, except for one scene later where she gets her evil villain song, and it definitely feels like a nod to the movie. She gets this cape that I think is supposed to kind of resemble stained glass, but it kind of just looks a little cheap. like a lot of the costuming in this movie, and I really don't like the hood that covers her hair. I know that's what the evil queen wears, but the Disney park version I think just looks better. I do still like the crown. I like the idea that the crown is stained glass. I just wish it had more, maybe some flair to it. Maybe the stained glass was a little brighter to offset all of that black. I don't know. Even the evil queen in the original was not just in all black. She had red and she had purple and she had white, and the crown was gold, but she was so dark on screen in the live action that it just sort of blended in to my surroundings, I guess, and it made her less noticeable almost than the rest of the set. So that's not good when you're trying to make someone stand out as the fairest of them all. Well, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on her costumes because there's just not much. Actually, there's just not much to say throughout the majority of this movie. I did, however, not mind Snow White's rags dress. I did not mind that so much. I thought the colors were very flattering on the actress. I liked the pattern mixes, and I really liked the touch of how her apron wasn't really an apron. It was like a towel or a piece of fabric she happened to find, and she tucked it under a piece of rope that she tied around her waist. So her stepmother didn't even provide her with a proper apron, and so she had to makeshift one so that this dress stayed clean for her because it's her only dress. But I didn't like that this was her only dress from the time she was a little child till an adult, because it's exactly the same as little child Snow White and adult Snow White, except at the bottom you do get to see this moment where the bottom of her dress is frayed. That's it though. There's no stains, there's no wearing anywhere else. If the bottom of her skirt is frayed, there should be some fraying around the joints of the dress where it moves and rubs a lot. There should be some fading of color, but it looked brand new, except that fraying on the bottom. Even her apron didn't see stains, or at least I didn't see any in the one time and only time I'll probably ever see this movie. But I did like that design touch. And we do get an explanation for the horrible haircut that I don't like, and I'm pretty sure most people don't like. The evil queen cut her hair as a child in an attempt to make her uglier. So she purposely gave her an unflattering haircut. She just chopped it off while it was in a braid. So I can forgive that, knowing that that's what happened. I wish we had a snippet of that in the trailer, because it was just a second or two in the movie where her hair gets cut off. That would have just added context to why they chose this very unflattering haircut for the actress. But without that, it just looks like that was a purposeful choice to make her look like the animated Snow White that just didn't land because it doesn't suit the actress. But they were trying to make her look unattractive. So I guess I can forgive that. So she wears her peasant dress up until she gets to go to the orchard with the huntsman who's supposed to unalive her, as we would say. And this is actually the live action doll dress that I really liked, where it had the blue skirt going over it. And it's fine. Seeing it in the live action, like, it looks great on the doll, but seeing it in the live action, it still doesn't quite work. And I do think it's probably because of the coloring. It's so vibrant, and that's about it. And then when she runs through the forest, she gets the skirt ripped off, the blue part of the skirt ripped off, so it's just the yellow skirt. And then she like tumbles through some water and through the woods, and she doesn't get an ounce of dirt on her whatsoever. She does get her hair wet, her dress is wet, but there's no mark at all on her outfit or even on her. She doesn't have any dirt on her or on her hands. I would have loved to have seen some weathering here, some actual tears in the dress. Besides the blue part coming out, it came off too cleanly. It just came off like it was it was a perfect rip around the waist. Not a single thread was frayed. So, and then she goes through the rest of the movie wearing that dress, and that's about it. I will say that there's another band of people that I don't quite know why they were there, but they're led by the love interest, which took place of the prince. And I did not like his outfit. At least his outfit looked a little threadbare. I wouldn't say weathered, but it was made of thinner material. But they did the hoodie thing. They did like a hoodie and a vest, and it just felt like, hey, I'm a rebel I don't know, it was such a weird choice. I wish I could comment on the huntsman styling. I actually don't even remember what he was wearing. Then they go back and there's the finale, which was incredibly lackluster. Snow White dons a red cloak, and I love this red cloak. That was gorgeous. That worked so well for her. She looked beautiful in that cloak, and she stood out amongst the townspeople, which we do get to see. I forgot to mention, we do get to see the townspeople again before this point, and they're drained of color. All of their clothes at this point are dull gray blue, and I don't recall if there was weathering on their costumes, but I wouldn't be surprised if there was, because at this point the queen has drained the town of all of their money and resources, so it would make sense if they had some threadbare outfits. Then Snow White comes with this beautiful red cloak. Don't know where she got it. Absolutely unmarked. Looks brand new. But it is stunning, and I love it, and I wish that they would have tied this cloak more into her look, because it's so good. Then you get the final showdown. Again, the queen just looks normal. It's Snow White. Everyone knows what happens. The evil queen dies, and Snow White gets to take her place as ruler of the kingdom. And then you get this final song and dance scene where everyone is wearing white, and the only little color we're really getting are these petals that are falling from the sky. I was so confused. I didn't even realize that that was her wedding. I just assumed it was a celebration of her becoming queen and getting rid of the evil queen, because everyone was dressed all in white. If it was a wedding, I would think that Snow White would be in white and everyone else would be wearing something else. I wouldn't expect everyone to be wearing white. So just on that cue, I didn't realize it was a wedding till someone else said that it was a wedding. But this was such a weird choice of costuming, because she's in her princess dress, the yellow dress with the normal yellow skirt dress. It's that in white, and without the overskirt thing. That's just gone forever. It's just all in white. It's so weird. And I still don't think this is, like, when you see it all in white, you really understand how unflattering of a fit this dress is. Everything about this dress just does not flatter the actress. And then you even have her love interest. His name's Jonathan. Oh my gosh, I don't know if you guys have seen newest D&D movie, but there's a character named Jonathan in there, and I just could not get this woman screaming Jonathan out of my head. Oh, Jonathan! He's wearing the exact same thing as well in white, including white medieval hoodie. Why? I was so disappointed. I thought maybe we'd get some variety, and I got little glimpses of Sandy Powell in this, just little moments, like the cloak and the stained glass crown. Like, we got little moments of creativity. But why is Snow White wearing this white dress? Why is everyone wearing the same clothes as before? Is there no fashion in this town? But that's the end of the movie. No, like I said, there's not much to say about it. I will say, overall, when we're looking at the costuming, I can sort of see this idea of the town was filled with life and color. The queen comes in, it gets drained, and then Snow White comes back, and you think it would be back to color, but instead she drained it of all other color that was left, and we're left with this white mass of clothing. I don't know. It just was so washed out and weird. And then it hit me, and this is why the title says it works. It hit me that they specifically made this movie for children. And I know this sounds like a dumb moment, because Disney movies, lots of people think that they're made for children. However, I really feel like most Disney movies are family movies. And when you have a family movie, there's aspects of it for children, aspects of it for adults, so that both can enjoy the movie. And in particular with these live action remakes, they've always been sort of demographically ambiguous. I wouldn't say the live action Cinderella was specifically for 4-year-olds, and I wouldn't really say it's specifically for 18-year-olds. It's a family movie, all ages can enjoy it. Snow White is the first live action remake that I've seen, and I have not seen them all, that really went, I want to make this for 4-year-olds and no one else. And when you look at it from that lens, it makes so much more sense as to why they made the choices that they did. vibrant colors, like making Snow White's dress super bright, that is appealing psychologically to very young children. There's a lot of movement in this movie. They're dancing and running and whatnot. That too is psychologically interesting to young children. And then on top of it, very young children often can't remember, how do I say it? It's like object permanence. Young children can have difficulty keeping one character straight throughout a movie if outfits and hair and whatnot change. However, if you keep a character in the same outfit or close to the same outfit and hairstyling throughout the movie, they understand that that's always Snow White, that's always Evil Queen, that's always Jonathan. It's just one of those things that I think that they took and they oversimplified it, thinking young children would be watching this. It's made for 4-year-olds, and they will not be able to understand who these characters are if we change things up, or I guess add dirt to their clothes after they fall through a forest. I'm not sure I agree with that. I don't really know that much about child psychology, but I do know a lot about marketing. I have an entire degree, a master's degree in marketing, and that is how you market to children. Bright colors, fast moving, and making sure that you keep things as simple as possible. So in this particular case, I think that's what they did. They chose a demographic, stuck with it, and left out anything fun and enjoyable for the rest of the family. And left out fun stuff for the costuming. But I think that explains why we get the exact same dress in white, because that is still relatable to the other versions we've seen of Snow White. I also think that's why they did the Evil Queen the way that they did, because that way you always know she's evil. She's always dressed in black, and she looks like the character you see in the parks or from the original movie. So all in all, I think the costuming works from that perspective. It's fine from that perspective, but from a exciting moment that a costume designer could have had, I think they really let down Sandy Powell. They should have given her the opportunity to age this up a little bit. Let it be, maybe don't go all the way of Snow White and the Huntsman, but maybe go at least to the level of Cinderella. Have some fun, re-envision things, and really make it something that's enjoyable. I will say the children in the theater seem to really love this movie. They really did. The adults, not so much. I personally will probably never see it again. It was really boring for me, and I was there for the costumes, and it let me down for sure. So I'd be curious, have you seen the Snow White movie? Let me know your comments down below. And if you paid any attention to the costuming, let me know your thoughts. I would love to hear what everyone else thinks. So I think I'm gonna hop off here. If you like this video, make sure to hit the like button. Make sure to subscribe if you want more content from me. And with that, I will see you in my next video. Bye.